What is up, the Lions fans? It's your boy, Motor City Don P. We are back once again, and you already know that when you see me in front of your TV, one thing is for certain and three things are for sure. Number one is that the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats and not none of that static, whatever you do. Make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic, and we have a lot to get into today. It is training camp day number 3. My apologies. I had the game messed up. I was talking about training camp day 1, day 2, because I forgot that the first day was Sunday. And there's a good reason for it. The reason for it is that training camp generally doesn't well, hold on. All right, sorry, I had to adjust something. Training camp, you look at it as practice, right? So practice usually happens Monday through Friday, right? So I got my wires crossed and everything, but it is what it is. We got it back now. So yes, we're talking about training camp day number 3. We're going to look into some observations. We're going to talk about some things that we touched upon before, some developing situations that we got to get into. So again, running late, didn't have time to get the sound, but I can talk to you about it because one of the benefits of me doing this at the time that I'm doing it is we already got everything done. Okay, so y'all have already seen, heard about this, that, and the third thing, but you come and you want to get my takes and you want to get how I feel about certain things, which I appreciate. I really, truly do appreciate everyone that comes in here and hangs out with your boy. All right. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's go ahead and say what up, though, to the people who are here. What up, though? Here's Johnny. What up, though, Mary Smith? It is nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, so hope everything is going well. Hope the life is lifing, okay, and all that. All right. So the first thing that we're going to touch on is we are going to talk about one Terrion Arnold. Now, Terrion Arnold is a man who sometimes he gets pooped upon. Sometimes there are people in the fan base that they wanted him out of town. He's a rookie corner. He sucks. He's not he's not the person that you want. He's the person that you shouldn't have drafted. He's not Sauce Gardner year 1. Quinyon Mitchell is better than him. Cooper DeJean is better than him. Nate Wiggins is better than him. Terrion Arnold was, in fact, in some people's assertion, the worst cornerback in the draft class. He's already a bust. Well, I'm pretty sure that a lot of us have seen the videos today coming out of camp. My man's locking folks down. My man locked down Amon-Ra St. Brown. My man got a pick one-handed. Completely took away Amon-Ra St. Brown's ability to run the route. He basically ran the route for him. If you want to talk about the term inside of somebody's hip pocket, there's nowhere further inside of this man's hip pocket, pause, than Terrion could have been. He could not have been anywhere closer to Amon-Ra St. Brown. When Terrion Arnold turned inside to grab this one-handed pick. Amon-Ra St. Brown's position was on the back of Terrion Arnold. He broke on this route before Amon-Ra St. Brown could break on it. He put him on his back. Amon-Ra St. Brown, if y'all don't know, is your best receiver, right? He's the best receiver that the Lions have. Some would argue J-Mo. Shout out J-Mo. We're going to get to him. Some would argue that it's J-Mo. And I am the official keeper of the J-Mo, so you already know what it is. I love J-Mo's skill set. I love what J-Mo can do, more so than Amon-Ra St. Brown. We know Amon-Ra St. Brown is a tactician and a technician, and he's going to get in and out of those breaks. He's going to run the route immaculately. He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. He's not the fastest, but he does fantastically with everything that he has to do fantastically with. This is the man that Terrion Arnold was tasked to cover. This is the man that Terrion Arnold was getting interceptions in front of. This is the man that Terrion Arnold was giving fits to. Guess what, y'all? This ain't breaking news, but it might be breaking news to those Terrion haters out there. Amon-Ra St. Brown is hard to cover. It's not easy to cover Amon-Ra St. Brown. You don't average 100 plus receptions and 1,300 yards a year if you're easy to cover. Now, a lot of people might be like, oh, he's a slot merchant. That's fine. Cool. Whatever. Amon-Ra St. Brown, not an easy cover. So, Terrion Arnold, as I said, gonna be fine. Gonna be fine. What did he tell you in his first day at camp? All he's been doing is watching film. He's been watching film of last season. Looking at, agonizing at, analyzing, breaking down his film, all the things that he could have done better, all the opportunities that he had to make plays that he didn't necessarily make. It frustrates him. The first step to being great is desire. You have to want to be great. You have to, quoting, I'm not going to tell you who it is because I'll use this as one of my hashtags. If you know, use the hashtag. And finally, guys, you got to want to succeed more than you want to breathe. Hashtag, if you know, use the hashtag. All right. So who is that? Does anybody in the chat know? Let me know. Okay. That's what Terrion Arnold wants. He wants to be a successful NFL cornerback more than he wants to breathe. He's putting in the work. He has put in the work. He will continue to put in the work. Let's give the guy a break. Let's see what he can do. I expect big jumps from Terrion Arnold. I do expect interceptions. I expect him to get his first interception this season. And wouldn't it be great if he got it week 1 off of Jordan Love? And wouldn't it be great if it wasn't only a pick, but a pick 6? Remember how Kirby Joseph got his first pick off of Jordan Love? It'd be great if Terrion Arnold could do the same thing. All right. Let me get to some of your comments in the chat before I continue on to the next thing. Let me pop this chat out. You know how I do. He'd be like, I got 3 cars. I got one of them in the shop. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm waiting for a payment, you know what I'm saying, from one of my workers out in the street. You know, let me read the chat right quick. You know, I don't like to do that. Looking like an old pimp. Shout out to Chris Tucker and his Michael Jackson pimp bit. I saw that again yesterday. It was phenomenal. All right. So what up, though, Hassan Mahdi? I appreciate you waiting for the show, man. I appreciate you coming and joining us. Brent DeWitt. You finally caught me live. I'm live the same. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say I'm live the same time. I had a bit of a snafu today on the expressway. It wasn't me. It's just because the people here can't drive. And there was just traffic out of nowhere. Just No reason. There wasn't an accident, nothing. It was just, hey, let's stop on the expressway. So, I was a little bit late. I had to change the time on the fly, but it is what it is. We here. So I appreciate you coming through, Brent. Mary Smith says, I've been on vacation with the grandkids. Oh, shout out. Shout out to the grandkids. How many you got? Telemade Media says, remember when everybody was talking about Kool-Aid McKinstry, now Terrion Arnold is lining up in the slot versus St. Brown. Remember when you kept talking about your man Lynn Barney and you were trying to compare? You were like, Terrion ain't Lynn Barney. No, he's not Lynn Barney. He's not going to be Lynn Barney. What up, though? Salty Pork Chops. Here come Kay. Here come Kay. What did she say? Bears fans also said on Facebook that they're going to be 17-0. I don't think any Bears fan, I hate Bears fans, okay? I don't think any Bears fan told you, in all seriousness, that they were going to go undefeated. Undefeated, never lost, okay? That doesn't happen. It's never happened in the history of the NFL except for once, and they played 12 games. Wasn't that, they're like, didn't the Dolphins do that in the 70s when they played 12 games? Okay. The Patriots got close when we were playing 16 games. And this is before I became a Brady fan. I had to take, I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't know this about me, I had to become a Brady fan because I knew at that point when we were dealing with the regimes that we were dealing with, that the Detroit Lions would never do anything. So I'm like, man, I got to go ahead and claim Brady. I'm a Michigan man. He's a Michigan man. So I became a fan of Brady and never looked back. But I wasn't a fan of Brady's in that, 18-0 season. They were trying to go 19-0 in the Super Bowl and Eli and them beat him. I was rejoicing. So no, we have not seen that. A regular season, yes, the Patriots did that in the regular season. And that's the only team other than the 72, I think it is, Dolphins, to do it in the regular season. But the Dolphins finished the job. And even if they did go 17-0, we saw last season winning 15 games, going 15-2. It didn't matter because we got to the playoffs and bombed. All right. Spider-Man Arnold says, here's Johnny. She says, I also watched First Take on YouTube, and MMF said Jordan Love and Green Bay are the Lions' biggest threat. In the NFC North, they are. Who are the other two teams? The Vikings have J.J. McCarthy, who's a rookie quarterback. We have no idea what's going to happen with him. And the Bears have a rookie head coach in Osama bin Johnson. We don't know what he's going to do. We don't know how he's going to coach. Okay? So I don't think that they're wrong at all. It's right now the class of the NFC North is the Detroit Lions, and then it's the Green Bay Packers, and we have no idea what the other two teams are going to do. Are the Bears fighting for last place, or are they fighting for first place? We don't know. We don't know what the effect of Osama bin Johnson is going to be on that team. Taylor May said, so who did Terrion Arnold pick today? It was indeed Jared Goff, my friend. It was not Kyle Allen. It was not Hendon Hooker. It was Jared Goff. Now, the pick did happen in one-on-ones. So, one-on-ones is different than being in the fold of an offense, right? If they were actually in the fold of an offense, then Jared Goff probably throws to someone else. Okay? But you can't just not throw it. Like, everybody knows, if you've ever done one-on-ones, if you've ever played the game of football all the way up from high school all the way, quarterback's going to throw the football. It's your job to catch it in one-on-ones, right? I played many of one-on-ones my day. Won a lot of catches on your boy. You already know what it is. Salty, what did Salty say? Salty says Green Bay may be the biggest threat. They played us both games really tough last year. You can be a threat and take an ass whooping. For sure. For sure. You can be a threat all you want. That don't mean you're going to win. Spot on, Salty Pork Chops. Kay says, I don't understand why Kay doesn't believe that Green Bay is our biggest threat. Again, who out of the Bears and the Vikings do you know anything about? You assume that the Bears are because, on paper, they signed this guy, they signed that guy, they signed the third guy, and they got a new head coach. The Bears are the perennial off-season champions. They win the off-season every year and then go 3-13-1. Shout out to that. That's a special one because we 3-1-3. So 3-13-1 belongs to us. It's a very terrible record. But let's say they go 4-13, right? Or they go 5-12, which is what they did last year. Oh, they've got this hot shot number 1 pick quarterback. Oh, they're gonna win the division. Nick Wright, remember Nick Wright or Nick Wrong as we call him? Remember? Oh, the Bears drafted Caleb Williams. They're going to the Super Bowl. No, not happening. So I will believe the Bears hype when I see it. Again, JJ McCarthy, rookie quarterback, did not do a whole lot of throwing at Michigan. Okay. I appreciate JJ McCarthy delivering me and my squad a national championship. Did not do a whole lot of throwing at Michigan. Jim Harbaugh is not about that throwing life, even though Jim Harbaugh played quarterback himself. Jim Harbaugh is probably like, my best friend when I played quarterback was a good running game. And that's what he gave J.J. McCarthy. And that's what he's trying to give Justin Herbert right now. J.J. McCarthy, we don't know. We don't know if we can trust him in the big spots. Okay? Yes, he did win a national championship, but you remember the year before that, he was out there throwing pick sixes. So we don't know if J.J. McCarthy can win a football game with his arm in the NFL. Okay, so there's too many question marks about the Bears and the Vikings to believe that the Packers are not our biggest threat. All right, let me see what else we got here. A lot of chats coming in, trying to get to all of them. Salty Pork Chop says in the NFC North, yes. TaylorMade Media says 10 interceptions as a rookie. That was my man Lynn Barty's first season. I understand that, but he's a Hall of Famer. Terrion Arnold could be. We don't know how his career is going to turn out, but my man's going to be fine. He's going to be all right. 4 grandchildren, 1 great grandchild. I'm old. Well, damn, Brent DeWitt. I didn't mean that. Y'all remember the Don Cheadle thing? You see, I'm 50. Damn. Why you say it like that? I didn't mean it like that. Salty Pork Chop says no Osama bin Johnson slander. He's Osama around here, Salty. You know that. You know the rules. KOC plus JJ is going to surprise some people. I'm not saying that it won't at some point. I know what KOC did with Sam Darnold, which was amazing, but he's a rookie quarterback. There is not a rookie quarterback ever that I'm like, yo, this dude is going to be just phenomenal. Okay? Look at what Peyton Manning did. Didn't he set the like rookie interception record? Didn't he throw like 27, 28, something crazy like that? And then he went on to become one of the greatest of all time. But as a rookie, he was garbage. He was hot garbage. So in time, JJ may be all right. But as a rookie, I'm not going to give you that unless I see it. Kay is late on the schedule. She said, damn, we got to play Green Bay, Eagles, Commanders, and Baltimore? Yes. Schedule been out a few months now. We talked about it. Here's Johnny says, Vikes QB is on a rookie deal. They bolstered their lineup. Vikes number 2 behind Lions. I can't call him number 2 until I see, is JJ gonna play like number 1 or is he gonna play like number 2? If JJ plays like number 2, that's a problem. All right, I understand they beefed up the lines. They bolstered the Vikings have a fantastic roster. If you wanted to say that behind the Lions, the Vikings roster is going to give you the most fits, that's true. But in the key situation, the conductor, he's sitting at the front of the train. The pilot, he's sitting in the cockpit of the plane. That's a rookie. So we've seen teams before who've had stacked lineups and they had a rookie quarterback, and it probably would have worked out better for them if they had a veteran. That's all I'm saying. JJ McCarthy technically is not a rookie, but he missed his entire rookie season, did not play anything. He was sitting behind Sam Darnold. What did he learn behind Sam Darnold? I don't know. Probably a lot. What has he done in the NFL? Taken 0 snaps. So until he takes a snap and he looks good, aren't the Vikings and the Bears playing each other like Sunday Night Football first week or something like that? So we'll see. We'll be able to see a battle of the young quarterbacks. But even if JJ looks phenomenal in game 1, that doesn't mean that's going to be his entire season. And even if he looks like number 2 in game number 1, it doesn't mean it's going to be his entire season. So we got to pump the brakes on JJ McCarthy and any other rookie quarterback and just let them develop. Let us see how it plays out. I'm not going to be afraid of a rookie quarterback. I'm sorry. I can't do it. It's not in my DNA. NFC North record prediction: Lions 12-5, Packers 11-6, Bears 10-7, Vikings 6-9. We'll see. Those are good predictions. I hope number 1 is correct. I mean, 12-5 and having the best record in the division, I'm fine with that, as long as we win it. Did you catch the stray Ndamukong Suh had towards the Lions today? I did not catch. Why is he throwing strays from retirement? Is he mad because I don't know? That's crazy. What up, though, Tactical Sport? Salty, tell me about that stray. And I'll pick it up. I had no idea he was throwing shots from retirement. And I defended this man too. All right. So we got some injury updates off the top of my head. Everybody's got a hamstring problem. Sione Vaki's dealing with a hamstring. Roy Lopez is dealing with a hamstring. So on and so forth. There was a camp fight today between Isaac Tesla and Morris Norris. I don't know. People are saying it's Maurice now. I thought it was Morris, but whatever. I thought his parents did the rhyming thing, right? Morris Norris. But if it's Maurice, it's Maurice. What up, though, Detroit fan man? Said, love today's conspiracy. MCDC wanted a fight today. Covertly asked Mo Norris to start one. That's crazy. He could have chosen someone else. Who you think? Barnes? Someone who's not on the roster bubble. Probably. But then you don't want a leader of the team. Maybe Derek Barnes. Yeah, I mean, Kirby doesn't need to be fighting his team. He can save that for Malik Neighbors or whoever they are going to be joint practicing with. So, yeah. Sue put it on the PFT podcast. So what did he say? Tell me what he said. What about your boy Broderick Martin is hurt? We should just cut our losses. I did not hear that Broderick Martin is hurt. Get out of here, bro. Did you hear Broderick Martin is hurt? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Broderick Martin can't catch a break. But you know what? If he is hurt, because I had not heard that. He hurt his foot. That's crazy. He left practice. I'm gonna say this about Broderick Martin. Broderick Martin doesn't get the same vitriol and venom from me as one Jeffrey Namumbo, oh hell no Kuda. He doesn't get the same venom and the vitriol as Eric Ebron. Cause he's a good dude, bro. Like he's just not great at football at this level. Right? He was doing his thing at Western Kentucky. So I have a problem like hating him. I can't really hate him. He's a good dude, man. He's jovial. He's worked really hard trying to reshape his body and get, the weight down and but I mean, just because he's a good dude doesn't mean he was a good pick. So yes, I feel like Broderick Martin can't catch a break. This was the time he needed to be there, right? This is his time to shine. Everybody on the defensive line is hurt pretty much. How do you go and get hurt too? Roy Lopez went out yesterday with a hamstring. Now you go out today with a foot. They're putting the pads on Friday. Who's going to be there? That's my question. Who on the defensive line is going to be in pads? Tyleek and DJ Reader? Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. Speaking of Marcus Davenport, Marcus Davenport is beasting, apparently. Shout out to the doc. He was on the heavies yesterday. He said that the notes that he wrote down for Marcus Davenport is that he's dominating. He beat Penei Sewell yesterday, of all people, Penei Sewell. And today, apparently, he beat him again. Marcus Davenport is a beast, as I've told everyone. I would be really excited for this season of Marcus Davenport and Aiden Hutchinson. But wait, I can't allow myself to get excited because Marcus Davenport only played 2 games. He's only played 2 games with us ever. And this is what he does in quite a few seasons out of his 7-year career. In no season in his 7-year career has he ever finished a season playing all of the games. All 16 or 17 games never been done by Marcus Davenport. Okay? So he's a beast. He's a super freak. Okay? Super freak. Pause. Okay, because they're talking about something different. So I'd love to see Marcus Davenport do his thing on the opposite side of Hutch all year long. But I just can't do it. I can't convince myself that he will. There's a lot of optimism about his health, and I hope I'm completely 100% wrong about his inability to stay healthy for one season. A complete season. Okay? 20 to 21 games. That's what we want out of Marcus Davenport. Can he do it? Probably not. I hope he will. So Sue said he believed he should have been paid more than Stafford. He believed he held the weight of the team. I don't think that's taking shots at the Lions. Y'all know I'm not a Stafford fan. Now, I would disagree that Sue himself was more important than Stafford. I would say that it's complementary football. Would I say that Stafford failed in the 2015 playoff game against the Dallas Cowboys? Yes. As I've always said, I put that on Stafford with the turnovers. But do you get to where you got to with insert random quarterback here because you're throwing to Calvin Johnson? I don't think so. Right? For all, listen, this is something we can kumbaya with for those people who think I'm a Stafford hater. I don't like Stafford. Is he a good quarterback? Yes. He would have been a phenomenal quarterback if he knew what jersey his team was wearing. Okay? If he knew blue jersey good, white jersey bad. If he knew white jersey good and whatever the other color is bad. If he knew that consistently, I'd have zero problems with Matthew Stafford. I don't care about no gunslinger. You gunslinged your way out of Detroit and didn't win a damn thing. So, yes. Is he a good quarterback? Yes. He's more so phenomenal now in LA, which again does nothing for me as a Detroit Lions fan. Whatever he does in LA doesn't help me at all. He won a Super Bowl. That ain't in my trophy case. He's got a ring. It ain't on my finger. Now, his ring wouldn't be on my finger if he was in Detroit, but it's on my proverbial finger. You understand what I'm saying? Pat's coming on Friday. Cool. Coaches will find out about some folks then. Yes, but which folks you gonna find out about on the defensive line? We got 4. We don't have nobody. Get them in. Za'Darius Smith, paging Big Z. All right, former NFL defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh said he believed the Lions should have paid him more than Matthew Stafford to retain him during his 2015 free agency. Again, that's what we know now as the reason he left Detroit. Okay, so here's what I take from there. People said he didn't want to be in Detroit. People said that's not true because he's still in Detroit. He's still doing stuff in Detroit now in retirement. Here's what we understand from that headline. And Ndamukong Suh wanted to be the highest paid player on the team. That's all. It's not that he had a problem with the city. It's not like that he had a problem with being a Detroit Lion. He didn't have a problem with the fans. He had a problem with the organization. Was it a delusional problem? Yes. I don't know in what world a defensive tackle is going to get paid more than the franchise quarterback. That's just not the NFL world. Maybe they do that in the CFL. Okay, and we're talking about the franchise quarterback, the quarterback of the franchise, the first stringer, the starter. Okay, Jared Goff is our franchise quarterback right now. No way in hell Aleem McNeil is getting paid more than Jared Goff. No way in hell DJ Reader is getting paid more than Jared Goff. No way in hell anybody on the team, anybody is getting paid more than Jared Goff. So did he hate Detroit? No. Was he delusional? Yes. That's all. So those of you that feel like Suh just hated the city of Detroit and all that, that's false. He was just delusional. And he still is if he thinks that is correct. Is Davenport mentoring Breakstraw? Yes. 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 If it wasn't a detriment, I would have some AI videos coming out with Marcus Davenport talking to Ennis Rakestraw in the locker room. But it's detrimental. Okay. So some of the comedy has to be a little bit, you know what I mean? Brent with the DeWitt on that one. What up, though, Chip Bradshaw? Brad Holmes also said Marcus Davenport is the perfect complement opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Bye, Big Z. Brad Holmes is correct. But again, this is the thing I can't wrap my head around. Walk with me on this one. Big Z wants to be here. Big Z wants to play for your team. Marcus Davenport is a guy who barely practiced in training camp last year because they were trying to keep him healthy for the season. He gets into the season, week 1 gets nicked in the groin, doesn't play week 2, week 3 out for the season. You look at his injury history. Brad Holmes cannot be so foolish as to. I understand Brad's story. If you guys don't know Brad's story, he was in a catastrophic car accident, suffered a stroke while he was in the hospital. Didn't know if he was going to walk again. No thoughts about playing again. Fought all the way back to get back to playing for the North Carolina A&T Aggies. And he sees himself in these injured players. I get it. And he fought back from something more catastrophic than pretty much any of these players have fought back from. Aiden Hutchinson had a broken leg. He came back from that. But you can't be so close-minded as to believe that you can put all of your eggs in the Marcus Davenport basket. It just doesn't make sense. It's like if you got a kid that has a track record in a history of being suspended from school and just being a knucklehead. I mean, at some point he might turn it around. But what faith do you have in that kid that he's gonna turn it around? Because he's been doing this for 7 years. And every other year he tells you he's gonna turn it around, he's gonna get his act together, and he doesn't. So until he does, he does. But until then, you can't trust him. You can't trust Marcus Davenport's health to say, I'm not going to sign Za'Darius Smith, who may not be the perfect complement to Aiden Hutchinson, but is a damn good one. Because he was a damn good complement to Myles Garrett. I don't know too many people that believe that Aiden Hutchinson is better than Myles Garrett right now. Could he get there one day? Possibly. Right? He's definitely in the conversation. But it just doesn't make sense to me, man. I just don't like the refusal to take into account a player's injury history is wild to me. It's crazy. Come on, Brad. Like injury history is a thing. It's not a thing. People get injured. And when they have an extensive injury history, that is a precursor to what may be happening in the future. If he's been getting injured in the past at an alarming rate, which is what Marcus Davenport has done, it is an indicator of the future injuries that he may have. Levi Onwuzurike had chronic back problems. When you have back problems, you know what you favor? Your lower body. Your lower body compensates. And guess what he injured? An ACL. Does that have anything to do with the back injury? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But I do know that your body compensates for things. Remember Emmanuel Mosley, catastrophic knee injury, body compensating, other side leg compensating. So now he rehabs this one super duper hard. This one, I don't know what happened. Maybe it atrophied. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he got stronger in the leg that he injured. So then he steps on the field. 3 plays later, the other knee goes out. Emmanuel Mosley is another one that you had this experiment on of bringing in a guy who had a catastrophic injury and missed the season. And then you bring him back in and he misses the season again 3 plays into the situation. What is different between Emmanuel Mosley and Marcus Davenport? The difference is Marcus Davenport played a whole game for you and Emmanuel Mosley played you 3 snaps. Okay, in 3 weeks, Marcus Davenport Davenport played a whole game and a quarter and a half. So it's kind of annoying, bro. Like this, it's. I know you're reading between the lines by saying bye Big Z, but to understand that Big Z's not here and he wants to be here, the only thing that I can look at is, okay, training camp. He's a vet. He may want to skip it. But you got to get him in here towards the end of training camp if you're going to get him in here at all. Because if I'm Big Z and I'm his representative and I want to play football this year, if the Lions don't pick up the phone towards the end of training camp, I'm moving on. And you better hope he don't sign with the damn Bears and get the sack on Jared Goff that helps them win the game against us. You better hope he doesn't do that, because there's going to be a freaking riot in Detroit if that happens. All right, let me get to some of your comments. Can I go up? Lord have mercy. All right. Where was it? The Bye Big Z. So that was on Sirius XM radio, picking up same vibes, salty. About Big Z. That Jared Goff contract might be a problem for the Cats in the D trenches, and now Alex Anzalone can't get a bump. I don't think it's going to be a problem, because they're just going to reschedule it. Reschedule. They're going to restructure it, and they're going to bring up they're going to free up a bunch of cap space. They're going to do the same thing with Penei Sewell. They're going to do the same thing with Amon-Ra. You see the way that Kirby Joseph's contract is structured. It is probably going to be a similar situation with the rest of the contracts that they have to give out. You got to give J-Mo a contract, especially if he balls out with his mindset. But we're going to talk about that in a bit. I'm going to get to your comments. Chip Bradshaw says, "We are with you, Don. You don't gotta convince us. You gotta convince Brad." Well, somebody send this to Brad. Somebody send it to him and tell him to watch it. Squad still went 15-2 though. We did still go 15-2, but did we expect to beat the Philadelphia Eagles? If you go to an NFC Championship game, now if you beat the Washington Commanders as convincingly as you should have beaten them without all of the turnovers, then that's a different conversation that we can have. But do you think our defensive line, who was made up of Larry, Curly, and Mo, and a couple of other guys that worked at the local Piggly Wiggly and possibly a plumber, do you think those guys were going to stop Saquon and Jalen Hurts? Probably not. Probably not. Brad is determined to prove that we don't need another edge rusher, so he isn't going to sign another one. Well, I hope he's not that pig-headed, because if he is, that's giving Bob Quinn vibes. The only difference is Brad, Bob. What am I saying? Brad and Bob. Brad Holmes is a phenomenal evaluator of talent. Bob Quinn sat up there and told you he had no idea how to evaluate talent, because he did the most work on Teez Tabor and still felt that he was a viable option to draft as an NFL cornerback. So he told you right there he didn't know what the hell he was doing. Brad Holmes is very different. But the pig-headedness of Brad Holmes is with these injured players. That's why they call him Bargain Bin Brad. You gotta stop with this. We're 3 days into training camp dealing with a bunch of injuries. We're 3 days into training camp dealing with no depth on our defensive line. What'd I say? Our defensive line depth? That's what it is. So, Brad needs to come on off that. Love to watch Davenport when healthy, but hasn't he played about 21 games in 3 years? Sometimes the trend is not your friend. Just saying. Facts. Salty Pork Chop says, my mouth just dropped between you and Derek losing his mind and that compliment. I'm just going to pray he doesn't tear a neck muscle already broken and torn every bone, ligament in his body. Facts. Pause. What did I say? What did I say to pause? You can't get to the Eagles if Jared Goff throws 3 interceptions versus the Commanders. And that's my point. We didn't get there. Right? We did not get there. And had we gotten there, I don't think the injuries on the defensive line would have allowed us to get to the Super Bowl. I think they would have carved us up for about 250 plus on the ground. Just didn't have the people. All right. J-Mo. That's my guy. That's my dog. Y'all already know I'm the official keeper of the J-Mo. I need Easy to answer my text because I got something planned. Want to give J-Mo a gift, but I got to get him to answer my text. It's not like he doesn't answer them. I sent him a WhatsApp. I could send him on Twitter, but you know. Anyway, J-Mo was at the podium today, media availability, and J-Mo was talking about what's different for him this year. Jameson Williams is entering year 4 as a Detroit Lion in the NFL. Jameson sounds like he's entering year 4. Okay? I don't have any Oakleys. Okay? I don't have any Oakleys. I really should have stopped at 7-Eleven and got a fake pair so I could have put them on and talked about Jameson Williams. The maturity of Jameson Williams was on full display today. It was on full display today. He's talking about understanding everything about the offense, knowing where he's supposed to be, what he's supposed to do on the routes, understanding the plays, knowing all of them. These are things that he didn't have going into last year. Was the first camp where he could say this or anything like this. He adds to talking about this being what he already has. He has an understanding of what to do, where to be all the time in every play. And he said that felt good to be able to just go out there as you are not thinking about anything that you need to do, because they say, all right, wider spy, what did it say? X, Y split banana, Y, whatever, you know, that the famous John Gruden play. And, banana split, cherry sundae. Oh, I know where I'm supposed to be. I know the route. So he adds to talking about those things clicking for him and changing for him to helping others. Jameson Williams is a vet. He's grown into the vet role. Everything that you've heard about from Dan Campbell about Jameson Williams is that he's a team guy. The Detroit Lion, the prototype player of a Detroit Lion, is a player that loves football and loves the team. For whatever reason, a lot of people thought J-Mo was something different. I know reasons. Like I said, I don't have any Oakleys. Maybe I should go get some for the season, right? To piss off the J-Mo haters. Every time he scores, I put my Oakleys on. And I have to get a profile picture with wearing Oakleys. So he goes from talking about helping others to, they asked him if he had, what were his goals, you know, now that you've gotten 1,000-yard season, he did, you know, what are your goals for next season? Winning. He said, my goal was to get to the NFL, so I've already reached my goal. He said, now I just care about winning. I don't care about all that individual stuff. persecute J-Mo if you want to. Talk about how he's a freelancer. Talk about how he's this, that, and the third thing. Mess around, be weird, and get blocked by J-Mo on social media. You can do all that if you want to. This kid is a Detroit Lion. He loves football. He loves the team. The goal is to win. That's it. He's not telling you I want 1,500 yards, blah, 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 blah. He was pressed earlier in the offseason at his high school when they were retiring his number to give you a goal. He was pressed into it. So he said he wanted to lead the league in yards, but he was pressed into it. They just kept asking him and badgering him. But the true answer is I don't have any goals. I don't care about none of that stuff. I want to win. How do you know he's telling the truth? As a wide receiver, how do you know he's telling the truth? Because of the way he blocks. Because when David Montgomery was running that 75-yard run I almost said San Diego, against the Chargers, the LA Chargers, who was motoring down the field to clear out people for him so that he could score? That was one Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is selfless. He's not selfish. He's maturing. He's no longer immature. Whatever it is that you have, not you if you're not one of those people, but whatever it is that you have against Jameson Williams, you need to stop it. Stop calling yourself a Lions fan if you're not going to root for this kid because he can help your team. And that's the bottom line. You may not like him as a person for whatever reason. Again, take your Oakleys off and look at the world in a different light. You may not like him as a person because you think he's a thug, you think he's a punk, you think he's okay, that's great. Maybe it's the side of the tracks that he's from that makes you believe that. However, he can help your team. Okay? He can help your team win. He can help your team get to the Super Bowl and win it. We know Jameson Williams shows out in the playoffs. We know he does. We've seen him do it. He has big games. He had 2 touchdowns in the NFC Championship game. He had a touchdown and a pick in the Commanders game. But that man is on his way. So stop hating. Could be Ray Agnew had a long sit down with Jameson Williams. So Jameson Williams, I think he said this last year. Or no, it wasn't him that said it. It was Aaron Glenn. When he said that every morning, J-Mo would come in his office and they would just talk. And it wasn't necessarily about football. It was just about life, being a professional. Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, who is now the head coach of the New York Jets. So he spent a lot of time with Jameson Williams. Okay, so Jameson Williams has the mentors, and you can see it as he grows and he develops right in front of your eyes. And if you can't appreciate it, I don't know what to tell you. All right, who wants Oakley's? Buffs are the official sunglasses of the city. I got it. But Oakley's are the official sunglasses of J-Mo haters. So I got the Buffs. So that's certified. I'm just saying the official sunglasses of a J-Mo hater, Oakley's. So that's why I said I got to get the Oakleys to piss them off. when he scores, I'm gonna put my Oakleys on instead of my big play buffs. Tactical Sports says, I used to wear aviators under my brown round when I was a drill sergeant. Remember when aviators were a thing? I mean, they're still nice. Yeah, I might get me a pair. Anyway, mailbag. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they reading you? Mailbag. Snick, mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Get them in. Bask in it. Oh, one day I just want to be able to pull that off. I just want to be able to finish it. Bask in it. Shout out if you know, you know. Yeah, go ahead and get your mailbags in. We got, is there anything else that I wanted to get to? Nah, I gotta go back to work. Yeah. I know TaylorMade is gonna have a mailbag question. Tactical Support says mailbag. Now that Broderick is hurt, Martin is hurt. Can we just end the Project Pat experiment? I mean, we might have to, depending on whatever his injury is. It might be a situation where you got to end it. I don't know. I just don't know. Because like I said, if it's just it's kind of one thing after the other with him not being able to get play time for whatever reason. Yeah, it don't look great. It don't look great. Mailbag. How is it that cats who wear New Era Lions caps backwards always find ways to ride Jameson Williams out of Detroit? It's because those cats secretly own Oakleys and they don't want people to know. That's why they own them in secret. But whenever they're not on camera, they do walk around their houses and backyards with the Oakleys on. So that's what it is. That's how they're riding them out of town. Oh, snap. Okay, I just turned off one of my ring lights with my foot. All right, we got any more mailbag questions? Going once, going twice. So an update, an update on the video editing app. I now am able to download videos and make clips. I just have to refine some of the logic behind the transcription. I'm supposed to be able to upload large videos. I have not tried that yet because I'm trying to get the timestamps and all that stuff down, which is one of the most important features of the app. But yes, those things are almost done. So hopefully I will be able to get some major work done with that today. After I come back in from work the second time, I will be plugging away at that. But the good news is the clips are downloadable. I can access them. I can get them. But like I said, there is still an issue with some captions. The sizing is off. And the AI background is generating But the video I tested on, it didn't have a need for it, so it didn't show up. But yeah, it wasn't one of these long full length videos. It was really like a short, it was a portrait video, not a landscape video. So obviously if it's a portrait video, it's going to take up the whole viewport. So there's no background that's going to show. So yes. Mailbag, have you ever grilled a moose? I have never grilled a moose. I have grilled a duck, not a moose. So, all right, so I appreciate you once again for coming through, stopping by for conversation, and no drink, but cup. I didn't have time to get a drink today, but what up though, Zach J? You caught me on my way out. The Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats and not static. Have you ever grilled a kangaroo? I was asked that question last night. A kangaroo is like a cat to me. Okay, it is a pet. I will not, won't not, can't not. I will not eat it on a plane. I will not eat it on a train. I will not eat it in the town square in Spain. I will not eat kangaroo meat and ham. All right, Motor City Cats are back at it. Came to give you stats and not static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic, and we shall see you tomorrow. Peace.